Okay, so welcome to this webinar, and then we'll be discussing more on graphic designing, and then I'll just like to make one thing out there. So you don't have to be an expert to start teaching someone, or you don't have to be an expert to start impacting your knowledge out there. Okay, so start at any level, teach. So the more you teach, the more you explain to people, the more you understand, and the more it sticks inside you. So a lot of people are saying, okay, I have to get to this level before I can do this. I have to get to that level before I can do this. Just start. Okay, so as you start, you keep growing, because you can never be an expert. So if you say I have to get to level A before I start it, when you get to level A, you find out that there is still level C and D. So you realize that, okay, I'm nowhere. Then you realize you just keep postponing. Okay, so it's all about starting now. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to give you out of my knowledge that I have concerning graphic designing. Okay, so I'm going to start like from basic level. I'm not going to just bump in and start taking it through crazy and deep softwares out there that you can use for graphic design, but we go down to the foundation. Okay, so I'm teaching like a complete beginner that has practically no knowledge out there in design. Okay, so let's go into it. So when we talk about graphic designing, it's simply representing something. It could be an emotion, it could be a feeling, it could be an idea in the form of visuals, okay, in the form of graphics, okay, in the form of shapes. Okay, so you're using different elements out there to portray a message. Okay, so the essence of graphic design is simply what? To inform, okay, or to inspire or to instigate. Okay, so you can design something to make people aware of something. You can design something to spur people, to instigate them to do something else. You can design something to ignite a feeling in someone. So you're just portraying an idea out there. Okay, so you want to design something that shows sorrow or that shows extreme joy. How do I put it to the user out there without having to write anything? Okay, so a powerful design has less words and more of graphics and visuals. Okay, so if you see a design that has a lot of text, there's something wrong there, except it's done intentionally. But the pictures, as they're saying that pictures speak louder than words, so your design should speak to the viewer, okay, the one viewing your message, without you even saying a word. So I can see a picture like this and then get a lot of information from it, because that is the intended. That's what I actually intend as a graphic designer. So graphic design is a very powerful skill, because you can influence people, you can influence the emotions of people. Okay, so if you understand it properly, you can use it in a very positive way and also in a very negative way. Okay, so it all depends on you actually. Okay, and then fast forward. So when we go into graphic designing, so you'll be using shapes, you'll be using pictures, you'll be manipulating them with text, okay, to give a particular message out there. Okay, and then so before we go like into the deep and advanced things, like you need to have a basic understanding of you need a basic understanding, the foundations, okay, so of shapes. It's very important. Okay, so you see a lot of design out there, you see very complex shapes and you're like, wow, how is this done? Well, it's just foundations of shapes. You bring in shapes together, different foundation, and then what, manipulating them together. Okay, the basic shapes you have a triangle, you have a rectangle, you have a square, okay, you have a line. These are basic shapes that we use, but when combined together you can have something very amazing and creative out there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. And for beginner's sake, I'm not going to start with any software like Photoshop, Canva, all of those, Corel Draw Advanced, but we're going to start with a software that I believe is in almost every laptop out there, most especially Windows laptop. That is what, Microsoft Paint. Okay, so it's a software that is in every computer, but a lot of people don't know that it's actually there. So you can actually use that and start building up yourself. So I'm going to take it purely as a beginner, as if I'm teaching grade 2 or grade 1 students. Okay, so you understand the foundation. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so that's good. So as I said before, the software that we're actually going to be using is called Microsoft Paint. So what you have to do is you go to your start menu. It's in any version of operating system. It could be Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. You'll find it there, and you just have to search for. Okay, so this is the software we're going to start with. It's Microsoft inbuilt drawing software. I'm not sure for Mac, but I think they should have something similar that you can use to draw. Okay, so as you can see, I'm using my mouse. You could use anything. You could use your touchpad, but I prefer you have a mouse. So the more advanced you go, you might actually need a graphics tablet, but for now a mouse will do. Okay, so this area you see here, this is your canvas. Okay. Okay, so this is your canvas. This is where you do your drawing. As you can see, when I left click mouse, when I press the left click, and I press it and I drag the mouse, it starts to draw over it. Okay, so you see I can draw over it. Wow, we have a map of Africa. No, this is Africa. No, that's not Africa. It's like a country, I remember. Okay, so you have different tools that you can use here to come up with creative designs. Okay, so I've done a lot of amazing designs with Microsoft Paint. It is very basic. Okay, so compared with softwares like Photoshop that makes life easy for you, but if you learn this and then you're able to do amazing things, it becomes easier to shift to those ones because you have no need the hard way. Okay, and so sometimes it's good to know the hard way, so it's easy for you to blend and have it all. So it's knowing the concept, okay, knowing the principles, the foundation, so you're able to shift. Not so much about knowing the software, but knowing how things work. That's why the foundation is very important and key. Okay, so this is as you can see here, you have your brushes. So you can select the list of brushes that you have here. There are different types, gives you different feelings. Okay, and so you have all of those brush there. Like if you want to maybe do some painting, you see, you can select the size of it. Okay, so that's it. And you have a brush there. You have text. Text is very important if you want to just write something, just simple things. So to help you out there, you can select the whole text and change it out. Okay, now the thing about Microsoft Paint is here, and then so if you click out of it, you can no longer select the text again like that. Okay, so that's the thing about Microsoft Paint. So if you want to select, you have to use the select tool. Make sure you click on transparent. Okay, when you click on that, you click on select tool and you can highlight it out, so you can move the text around. Okay, so you see that the white background is selecting the white background, as you can see there. Why? Because I did not click on the select transparent. So if you select that transparent, make sure you select it, then click the rectangle tool and then highlight the white, so it selects. Okay, so you see that it selects only the text, it doesn't select the white background behind it. Okay, so that's the thing about when you're writing text. So make sure you've gotten all your text properly before you click out of it. So once you click out of it, editing it is an issue there. Okay, so these are the difficulties of it that I believe that it's very good, that it's going to actually help you out. So you can scroll out. Okay, and then so that's it. So with this you can do a lot of amazing things. So we're just going to create a new file. Okay, just create a new one, don't save this. Okay, make sure you always save your work. Okay, you can put your works in folders. Okay, beginner design. Let's say video one. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so now what do we actually do? Okay, so when I'm starting with my students, what I actually start with is that I start with the shapes. Okay, I want them to understand how to use shapes. So a lot of them, they want to jump right into mixing pictures, adding amazing stuff, text and all of this, but it doesn't start that way. If you go ahead, you're gonna lose. Okay, So between a beginner and an expert, there's a gap there. That gap is the process, okay, is the making. You don't just jump for a beginner to an advanced like that. So a lot of people want they want to jump and become awesome like that, okay. So it's a process. You have to build yourself. You go through a lot of training, a lot of pain, okay. So there are a lot of times when people are sleeping, I'll be on my laptop going through all of these things, and then so when people see it, they say, wow, this is awesome, I want to be like you. I wish I can design like this. But if you tell them the pain, or if you tell them the suffering behind it, they say, I can't do this, okay. So no successful person tell you, I just woke up and become like that. It's a lot of training. So so if you see this portion here, we have the shape. So this is what we're actually going to use. So you have a circle here. So if you left click, select the circle, you can draw a circle out there. So you see now the circle, this is more of like an oval or an ellipse shape. But now if you want it to be a circle, all you just have to do is to press the shift on your keyboard. When you press the shift, it constrains it and makes it a circle, okay. So I'm see, okay, it constrains it and then it makes it a circle, as you can see, and you can move the circle around like that, okay. But if you want to select the circle back, now what you have to do is you have to go to the select to make sure the transparent is on, highlight it, and then that's the only way you can actually move it out. Then you can compress it down, okay. So that's it for you. So you can have multiple circles in it. You see, you can have tons of circles out there. So it depends on actually what you're actually trying to do there, okay. So that's circles for you. You also have rectangles. If you hold the shift, it constrains it and makes it a square, okay. So if you leave the shift out, you have a rectangle. So you also have rectangle, but it has a border radius, okay. So you see this corner around it that is curved, that you call that a border radius. So if you do a little bit of designing or web design, you have border radius, so it gives you a little bit of nicer feeling, okay. So we have tons of other shapes there, okay. So this shape allows you to build up other shapes, okay. So you have shape builders to like polygons, okay. You can use this like, okay, that's a polygon, and if you just put your mouse over it, it gives you the name of it, okay. So you have polygon. So what you want to build might not be a rectangle, it might be a more complex shape. Let's say you want to build let's say something like this, okay. Let's say a car, okay. So you have easily made a shape of a car. This shape comprises of rectangles, as you can see. It's just basic rectangles that are put together. That's what I was telling in the beginning, the foundation is very important. So it's just basic rectangles put together, and then what you use your eraser tool or other tools that you can use, and then combine it together so it looks like a car, okay. So that's it. So any shape you see out there in the world, it can be broken down into rectangle, square, and whatever the shape is there, okay. So any complex shape you see there, you see the shape there you see the shape. If you're careful enough, you can see different shapes out here. You can see a rectangle. I can break this down, let's say into, I can form rectangles out of it, and so it depends on you how you see it. You can have multiple rectangles coming together, okay, and giving you something very important, very key. So it's all your perspective of how you see things and how you can manipulate it together, okay. So there are tons of shape out there. You have the line tool to this, so this is very important, okay. You also have this tool built-in. This tool is the curve tool, so you can have one point set, like you draw a line here, okay. So if you want to bend it, so sometimes your shape can be bent. If you want to bend it, once you've drawn the line where you want to bend, just click on it and then it bends it for you. If you want to bend this side also, it does that, okay. So you might want a shape like this, and then it will not be very easy for you to do using like normal shapes. You have to go through a lot of there's something called the golden rule, okay. So you have to have one circle, you see, bring in another circle again, just to get the edges you're actually looking for, okay. So these are like when you go in like complex into like going to complex designing. Okay, so it's like using shapes to get the curve you're looking for. Okay, so like using the golden ratio out, so series of circles together. So those are there are tons of them out there, but just depends on what you're actually looking for. And then another thing we'll look at is the color aspect. Okay, the color aspect. So you can see you have color 1 and you have color 2. Okay, and so this color is set to black. Now what that means is that whenever I select the shape and I draw, let's just select all of it, delete that out. Okay, so once you select a shape, that's it. You see the border of the shape, it's black. So what you can do is that you have the size. You can increase its size. This rectangle is still selected, that's why I'm able to fill in the size there. Okay, now what you can do is that if you change the color, it comes to red. If I select another rectangle again, now the outline is in red. You see this rectangle is still selected, that's why I'm able to change it. But once I click out of it, I can change the color again. If I select green, whatever I draw is going to be in green. Okay, so that's it. That's the color aspect. I hope you're getting me out there. Okay, so if you change this to black and then you draw over it. Okay, now this, I'm going to show you how this is being used. So right now you see this determines the color or your background color, how everything looks like. Okay, so now you don't want things just to be like all white. That might be your objective, but if that's not what you're looking for, okay, you might go for something else. Okay, so let's say for example we have a rectangle like this. Okay, so we click out of it. Now we can have another one inside here. Oh yeah, so you see now what we are doing now, we have another one here. If you're smart, you should be able to know where I'm going with this. Okay, so our basic and nursery school, so they teach us how to draw houses like this. So you can see how foundations are important. So as you do this, as the more you increase in your grade, this becomes very easy, and your younger one comes to you, please draw a house on you, draw a box like this. Oh, this is simple things when you could do complex, but they take you through that stage because they know the foundation is important. So we've drawn the shape like that. Now another tool I want to show you is this bucket tool, or fill with color. It's called paint bucket in other software. So what you can do is just it pours a color on a constrained area, on a shape. Okay. Now what that means is that if I come here to color 1 and select the color, let's say brown, and press it here, it colors this whole place brown. Okay, if I select here, it colors it brown. Okay, leaves this place there. Okay, so that's we have our shape out there for you now. Okay, so now one thing you should be mindful of is that, let me show you something. If you have this rectangle and you mistakenly erased one of the part here, okay, and then you colored it, the color goes out. Why? Because once it pours the color, once it pours the paint, it's just like normal. Once it pours the paint flows out of this hole. Okay, so it's always full paint you are pouring on the whole canvas. So if it sees any space, it comes out of it. Okay, so it comes out of it, so be mindful of that. So in order to fix that, you can actually use the brush tool or use any other shape out there, so you close that gap up. So if the gap is closed, and use the paint bucket so it constrains it in that particular area. Okay, so we have out there, and so this color tool, let me show you. Let's select a different color. So a lot of times you might be wanting to work with different colors and you don't want to be going select 2 colors. You might be having like you want to work with 2 colors. So if you right click, it selects this color for you. Okay, let's say I want to paint here. What I have to do is I have to left click, so it paints it the color there from. But if I right click, it paints this other one. Okay, so it's like switching between 2 colors, left right. So you're twisting just selecting the 2 colors. So I hope you're understanding that. Okay, so you can be working with different colors and you don't want to be going and selecting the colors. You can choose another color here that you feel that is not in the swatch. So this is your swatch, different colors. So if you feel the color is not here, you can go through that. Okay, so I hope you understand this. Is this clear? Okay, so we move to another level. Okay, so now we have this. Let's zoom out a little bit. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to start and let's draw a house. Let's just take it easy. So we're going to actually draw a house. So you might say now you have to predetermine like what colors you're actually gonna use. So just have a concept, an idea of what you want to do out there before you just start jumping into it like that. Okay, so let's say now the colors that we might want is we want a black color, and for the house we want, let's say, brown, something like that. So we just stick with that. And then if you want to draw a house, okay, they are complex house, but let's go back to our grade 1, grade 2. Okay, so how did they taught us how to draw a house? So usually you draw a rectangle, then you draw a rectangle, then a triangle, put two boxes and okay, so you have all of those. So okay, so you can choose, okay, I want to, let me use a rectangle to draw the house, or you can have the bordered one. So it depends on you, what you're trying to do out there. Okay, so you can have both of this. So now what we're going to do is that we have an idea. Okay, I'm going to draw a house and it should have a roof. So I'm not going to put my design up here. Where is the roof going to be? So I have to bring it down here. Okay, so that's it. Okay, if you want to zoom in, just press Ctrl and your scroll mouse button, copy that. So just this, so with Ctrl, and you can zoom in and zoom out. So that's it, we have gotten the structure of the house. Now also we need a roof for the house. Okay, so you have the roof, just draw that there. I'm holding down shift, so it's like an equilateral triangle. So if you did mathematics sorry, it see equal sides of the rectangle. You have isosceles scaling triangle, so this just gives you so you can bring that down, maybe just break it down. Okay, so you can even put it inside here, don't worry, we're going to paint it out so it goes out. Wow, amazing, we are getting to a house, huh? Okay, I hope you're feeling this. So we can choose, let's use the rectangle, the one without the border. Okay, or you can use anyone else. Okay, so we have that there. So if you're not sure whether you're on the right side, you might just want to, let's say, just zoom in to make sure that you're doing things correctly, because gaps, if you leave gaps when it comes to painting, you might have issues. Okay, so there you go, perfect, you have your door. Okay, that's your door. And also let's not forget the windows. Okay, so you have the window one here, and then so what you can do is that you can select this window. Let me show you another tool. So just select this window here, and then you see here, just keep copy, then we click on paste. So when we had, okay, that we've been, now you can see this white background around it. Okay, so this tells you, oh, something was wrong. But then let's go to our select tool. We select to our transparency selection is, it's on. So what's the issue now? This is issues with paint that you have to be very mindful of. Your second color, okay, your second color is very key. So if you know you're going to do selections, okay, so make sure you select your second color back to white. Okay, so when you select it back to white, so this we're going to have to delete it out. Now we're going to make the selection again. Okay, so we copy that, we paste, so we bring that, so you see that goes off there. Okay, so we have that there. So now what we want to do, we want to rotate this there, so we can just rotate it. So instead of rotating, you have what you call flip. So just switching it to the other side, you can flip it up, flip it down. So we flip horizontally, push it to the other side, then we just bring that there. Okay, so we have it, we have our house. That's and clap for yourself, you got a house, man. And then so what we have to do now is that we have to start to paint this house. Okay, so let's go back, we select our color, we make this brown. Now we might, this black, we don't need the black, so we're actually gonna, let's make that green. I think green is fine, right? Yeah, so we just reduce the how dark it is. Okay, okay, so we start painting. We select our paint bucket tool, And then so we're going to start with the roof. We're going to paint the roof first. So what you have to do is just within the shape you want to paint, just click on that. So you see it paints it green for you, and then select this part again, it paints it green for you. So we want this house to be brown now, so we just right clicking now to select that part here. So you might want like inside to be a little bit dark, so we select that part also again. Now we have an issue with this part now. Okay, so how do we get rid of this part that we actually have here now? So how do we get rid of this border out here? So now one thing you should understand is that the paint, the software itself, once shapes are joined together, it takes it as a whole shape on its own. So let's say for example, let's say you might say, okay, let's select this green and then this border and we can make it green. But once you do that, you see it highlights every other thing in green. Okay, every other outline, okay, the strokes out, you put this in green. That's what this is whole as a whole shape. Okay, once they are joined together. So if that's not what you actually want, then we might have to go for another tool. That's the eraser tool. Okay, so the eraser tool is going to help us to actually erase those portions out. But now you see we are erasing, but it's giving us brown color. Why? Because of these. Okay, that's it there. So select that, select it to the color that you actually want. Okay, and then let's undo that. Okay, it's not as if you had more like more idea on graphic design, you find that this is painstaking. It's very difficult and annoying to do, but then it teaches you patience. Patience is very, very important or key in everything that you do. Okay, we can just click that out there. Okay. So when I'm teaching my students this, they are, this is annoying and painstaking. We cannot be doing this. This is painful, man. But that's the process. You can have to learn the basic stuff. Okay, so we go back to the paint tool, paint that part out, paint that part. Let's make this the door itself. Let's make it a little bit darker. Okay. Okay, so good. Clap for yourself. You got a house, man. Awesome. So that's the house there. So you can select this house. Make sure selection tool is there. Make sure this is set back to white. Okay. So you select this house. Okay. And then what we can do, we can copy the house, and when you click right click here and you paste from. Okay. Right click here and then you click paste. So you have what? You have another copy of your house. Okay. So gradually. Okay, so gradually you see that you can start like having a whole control V, just control V, and you can see now you can start having a whole village. Okay, you can start having a whole village. So just from one simple shape out there. Okay, so let's just clear that out. Okay, so I'm simply just painting now. I don't have time to be erasing it out. So that's it. So we have our house there. How amazing is this? Okay, so from simple shapes we are building up something that looks very complex and very interesting and nice. And if someone see, they say, wow, this is amazing, how did you do this? They don't just know it's just simple basic tools that you're using. Okay, so the other thing we might want to do is that if you remember when you're drawing like in grade 2, you have to like draw lines like this showing it, okay, this house is from here, goes here, and then you have a road that takes you, and then voila, ooh, you have a nice road. Okay, so we're gonna do something like that. Okay, and then so you look to your tools. What tool do you think can help you achieve that there? Okay, so you have this tool here, I told you before. So that's the curve tool. So what you have to select the curve tool, come to this first point here and select. Now you see it's green because the color, so we can make it black. Okay, so come here, this point, then you drag to the other point, there. Okay, now what you have to do is that now you want to zoom in just to make sure you're doing things correctly to this other point here. Okay, so you just have to drag that out there. Okay, so you drag it there, you have now you can only drag it 2 times, so after that it selects that a shape, so you can no longer manipulate the points. So if this is not what you want, undo, select the shape back again to that point there and drag it there. Okay, so let's say this way again, but you can see these are different. It's like I'm using brown and black. I'm going to select the black color. Okay, good. So we have here. Oh, we're moving forward there. So we come here and then you can have to select it only once and click out of it. We are still in the tool, select it and then move that. Let's do that again. Like that. If you this design and you don't like it, just press the escape key, fix it off. Okay, so select that point there. Make sure we're at the right point. Okay, so we have that. Okay, so if you don't want to, if I click back, it's going to select another shape for me. So if this is not what you want, now what you have to do is just select the shape itself. Okay, click where you want, and then what you just have to do is just select a different shape. Okay, once you select a different shape and then you click out, you can no longer tamper with this again, so you can go back to your shape again. So we click here, we do the we're gonna do the same thing there also. Okay, so that's it. So we have the shape there, and then you can select it and just drag it out. Let's say you want it out of the canvas. The same thing also. You come to this point here. Okay. Oh, you see there, I didn't. You have to select the part there and drag it out there. Okay, and make sure you click another tool, so you just come. You're stupid. Recording video. Constantly. Wow. So select that part too. You can bend it there. Okay. So I'm gonna look for. I made one design like this, and I'll try and look for it, and I'll show you. I'll make sure select the tool out there. Okay. Now let's see. If you in this, we have something that looks like the ground, and then the shapes that people are walking. But like it shows like the road, so be careful now. So now look at what it does. Now once we painted first, because this was all brown, it took now the whole thing as a shape. So you see now, so if you paint another one again, it affects the whole thing. So these are things that are very annoying and painful, where it teaches you, okay, be mindful, be patient of what you're actually doing. A lot of time you might have to be undoing just to get what you actually want. Okay, so you can see now this is the ground. We have the ground out there. Make sure you're saving your work. Control S. Now this looks very bare. You might need like say a sky sort of. So now the sky we can choose. If you go to the shape, you have this looks like a cloud. If we draw over this cloud, let's see. So most of the time you have to be using different tools just to get what you're actually looking for. Okay, Okay, so we have this. Our intention is that we want something like a cloud. So let's see how this is going to do. Let's look at the paint bucket. I don't know how this is going to work. We paint, so wow, we have something that looks like a cloud out there, but then we have issues with this part now. How do we get all of this up? Okay, so you might have to use your eraser tool back again. But a lot of work. You can see this is where it cuts with the black. We have to do black, brown, brown. That's too much work for us. Okay. Now what we can choose to do is we can have two options. I'm gonna show you one of them. Is we can let's first of all we can select this whole thing. You can choose to first. I want you to copy it. So you have a copy. So if you're tampering with it and you mess up with it, then you can still get it back. Okay. Now I just want to move this down there. Okay. We just move it that. Now we want to draw the sky here. Okay. So we're going to draw the sky. So you can use the brush tool. Okay. So just draw the sky. And the clouds, amazing. Okay, so you want to select the pen tool and you just paint that out there. Okay, so you see there, so there's a gap there, so it paints out everything, but it even looks nicer when everything is painted out. Okay, but that's not what we do. So you can see here there are gaps here, so it literally just paints it out. So we have to close that gap and paint. Okay, so you might have to be painting like that. There you have it. You have our cloud there, and but now this is our house. It's gone. So what are we gonna do now? So we post that. So we have a copy of the house. That's why I asked you to copy your house, because you're gonna lose it. And then so you can just select the whole you can just select this whole house, just delete that, press delete key and press Ctrl V, so you have the original copy of your house before. Okay, so there you go. So you can see bit by bit building up something really amazing. So if you extend this canvas, it leaves your original picture there and just extend the canvas, so it doesn't enlarge this on its own. So be mindful of that. So you might say you want more speed, so it's not going to enlarge it, it's going to increase the canvas. Okay, so you can zoom in there. My head is shiny. Why is my head blocking the line? Okay, so now let's just add creativity. So like we have things like birds flying. So birds are simple structures, you don't have to draw complex things, just simple thing like that. But you can see this, it's low, so I have to come to the side and select that. This represents a bird. Okay, so this is a bird, so just bent shape. So it's not like you have to come and draw head, vulture, eagle with head. This simply represents birds. Okay, so it gives you that. Then okay, so what is an afternoon without sun? Okay, so I didn't plan any of these things I'm drawing here, but the more you draw, the more the creativity comes out. Okay, so it expresses out. So the more you go into it, the more you start seeing the need to improve and where you can make things better. So that's why I said before, it's all about starting. If you don't start, you never know how great you are or your potential. So don't underestimate yourself, just start. So to draw a sun, we might need a circle, right? Okay, is the sun circle over? Science students, answer. Okay, so where do we put our sun? Do we put the sun down here? So this is why now you need to observe nature. Okay, so where do you find your sun? Do you find your sun down? Do you find it here? Anywhere? So it depends on where exactly you want the sun. You can say, okay, I want the sun to be here. So if the sun is here, it influences your shadow. Okay, so if you're going deep into drawing and then deep into like serious amazing designs, the sun or your source of light is very important. So when the source of light is here, this drawing you see here is going to have rectangle. So this is going to have it's gonna have this shape. The whole building is going to come here. You're gonna have the shadow of it because its light is here, so it reflects in this particular point here. But for now, we just keep things simple. We have that's our sun there, and what do we need? We want to paint the sun. So what's the color of the sun? Yellow. Maybe. So we just paint the sun there. Okay. So see the stuff there. Okay. So you just have to erase that there. The bird. Now it's giving us white because of what our background is white. We'd like that to be yellow. And oh, this is so much easy in Photoshop, man. But yeah, not in Photoshop, we have to use this. Okay, so that's it. So you have your sun there, but the sun is not just like this. The sun has a little bit of I don't know if you so that ray stuff. So we go to our shape. There's nothing that looks like that there, so we might have to like maybe draw it out. Let's see if we can use the one that's I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. That's ray. It shows the heat like around the. So when we are drawing sun, so I'm taking back to nursery one. When you're drawing sun, we put this around this to show the level of heat, the intensity out there. Okay, so you see you're gonna have to be doing a lot of clicks. Okay, so that gives you the wow, the sun is hot, right? Okay, so there we have it. We have the sun that's actually shining. It's really hot. Okay, so the sun is really ahead there. So now what we can do, let's go back to this other brush. Now village houses are not this smooth and perfect. Okay, so if you wanted to take this shape like more complex, you might even have to like start creating bricks. Select it to black. You might choose to say, okay, I want to make the shape very complex, so I'm going to like convert it into bricks and blocks. So you have one shape there, you can have another shape that comes in here, okay, and then you have another one that goes in like this. So you can choose to like make it pretty complex, okay, but that's not what we're getting. I'm just going to show you that, so it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. But we're not going to do that. What we're just going to do, we're just going to put simple wrinkles. Select the brush tool like on the wall just to show that it's a little bit old. Okay, so just to give it that like it has stayed a little bit for a long time, so it's not perfectly smooth. Okay, so houses are not that smooth, so it looks a little bit, it looks scary. It's like this one looks as if you're entering a monster house. Okay, so that's it. So you're going like that bit. So now the same thing for the roof tool. You can select the line tool, so it makes it easier for you. You just have lines there. Okay, you can have different. So when you're drawing your, remember, I'm taking you back here, not just color that shape there. You can adjust that. Okay, this is how we used to draw. This is why foundations are important. Okay, so you see a lot of complex shapes there. It's a lot of people just try to run away from the foundation, but it's very, very important or key. Okay, so you can come up with beautiful things if you understand the foundations properly. Okay, so there you have it. We have something like that, very beautiful. We do the same thing. Okay, so like what I advise is that start with one house and make the house perfect, like everything you want in the house, let it be there. Then you can start copying for the different houses. Okay, else you might have to be doing them each and every one of them for one by one. Okay, so you're gonna do a lot of left click, left click, left click, left click, left click, left click. Okay, so we have that there, and you're gonna do the same thing for this. So I hope you're seeing how things are building up. We're using simple basic shapes to come up with something beautiful and advanced. Okay, So just challenge yourself, look out there, go out there, any shape you see out there, you can break those shapes down into a rectangle, a square, a circle. As you see, it's all just shapes together, and then they are combined together. It gives you the amazing feeling, and you say, wow, it's a very complex shape, but in reality it's just simple shapes together. Okay, so if you go like into 3D design, then that's where cylinders might come into place, ovals and all of those things, but it's still a cylinder will just be a replica of rectangle when it comes. So what we are doing here is just 2D drawing. So we are doing our drawing in what? In 2 dimension, as length and breadth. Okay, so like in 3D, that's where you come and have the width and all of, or length and width, all of those things there. So you're giving your design depth. What we are doing is 2D, just 1 dimension, X dimension and Y dimension. Okay, that's 2D. X, oh, sorry, let me use the pencil. So we're doing this X and Y. This is the Y, this is X. So it has only 2 planes. But then 3D dimension, you bring in what? Z, okay, Z. Okay, so this way now you can have boxes, shapes of boxes together. That's where 3D comes into place. Okay, but it doesn't stop at 3D. You also have 4D. In fact, you have 6D. Okay, you can have Z here. So it's all about them meeting at 90 degrees. So you can have there's 4D. It's difficult to represent 4D on this particular plane because your perspective is going to look 3D, so it's difficult to represent 4D. It's like every side of it. Make research on it, you see how 4D and all of those things look like. Okay, so we just same here instead of erasing. Hey, and the background is white. Okay, but I don't want to use the eraser, I'm just gonna do it. What the pen tool is, what the select tool is doing is just replacing this whole thing with a white background. It looks here as if it's erasing it, but it's not erasing, it's just pasting white on it because our background itself is white. Okay, so that's what you should make note of. So if your background was let's say if your whole painting was okay, let's say for example black like this, okay, and then you drew something. Let's select a color like this. Okay, so if you wanted to remove this out and use your select tool, if you click on this and delete, to paste white background on it, so that's white. Okay, so it's not deleting it out, it's just pasting a white on it. Okay, so with that understanding, whenever you want to delete something out, select it, make sure you select this color tool, change it to the color of the background itself, black. When you do that and then you delete it off, then change the color, and that to black, delete, select that, it's black on it. So it gives you an illusion that wow, I've erased it, but you just pasted something on. That's how paints work. So I hope you got that aspect. So you see we're having a pretty good stuff. Now what is missing? You might say, okay, this place looks very bare. There's like no what do you think we need again? Let's say trees. Okay, so we might need trees there. What we can do, which book we use for trees? Okay, so we can use this tool here. I think so, yeah. So let's use that one. So we have that there as a tree. So we just have to rotate it. Okay, so what can we do? Let's erase this part out. So you can press E to erase. You see it's not erasing because the background is set to white, so we select that part. Okay, so we go to our paint bucket tool, we select the green, we paint that just right click. Okay, so we have that tree there, so select that out. So you see now it's selecting this whole thing for us. So this is very important, make sure this is set to back to white. Okay, select that, move that. Okay, so we have that like a tree. Now we want the branch and all of those. Do we use this tool, the curve tool? Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so we zoom in and then, so it's you coming up. What would you feel would give you the best result? I can choose to use a rectangle, or I can choose, okay, this is what I prefer. I prefer this tool. Now all we can do is we can select the whole part of it. Okay, so we can use the selection tool. We can choose to put it here. Okay, so what we can do is that we can do some bit of in there. You see, so we need to like erase some part of it. Make sure your background color is set to green. We want this part to be green. Okay, so now let's paint the branch. You can paint it brown. Is that brown? Oh, right, good. Okay, so we can select the first color, paint that brown there. Okay, so there's it. So we have the color out there. Now you see this part, so we can actually erase that off. So voila, we have something that looks like a this is a tree. Help me, is this a tree? I don't know. We can have that. You can choose to make it pretty big, but mindful of your borders. So like, make sure you select everything to green. It makes it easier for you if you're choosing the tool. Okay. Okay, so we have that there. You can just start pasting out there. Okay. Well, the other part we might have to erase. So this one we can erase it. Select this set color 2 to back to white. Okay. So this paint teaches you how to be very patient and careful, taking your time. Make sure you get everything right and easy. So tools we have today have made life so easy. Okay, so quick, faster. So people are no longer interested in learning things the hard way. It's good, at the same time it has also disadvantage. Okay, so people are more into have to get this quick, fast way of doing things. So learn the basics, learn it well, learn the craft, make sure you're good at it. Okay, so we have that there. Now what can we do again? We have three. Let's copy this and paste. Control C, Control V. So like we can have different. Okay. If a lot of time you have to be on green just to get what you want. Control V, paste it. No, that's fine. Okay. Okay, so we can have that out there like that. Okay, so you see how we're building things up using basic shapes out there. Okay, so let's select to go there. We might want to just give this tree a little bit of just to make things look a little bit nice, so it doesn't look very bare and cool. And what else do we think? So our road is very smooth. So roads are not smooth. Most of the time you see different kinds of things on the road, like different shapes and all of those. So we can use the brush tool. Yeah. Let's see this tool. Okay. This no, it doesn't get. So we just want to draw things on the floor, like just to give a little bit of so the floor doesn't look bare. And so usually you find different things on the floor, different and like stones and all of those things they are out there. So you can choose your tool. You can even choose to like maybe draw grasses around. Okay, I'm using the mouse. So this we are drawing is gonna be look like the brown tool. Oh, grass is just green. We have that there. So that's your grass. You can select that grass now. Make sure your color 2 is set to white. You copy that. Okay. Okay, so you see? You can be have different grasses just to make things look nice. We have there and do it at there. Can just move it around. Okay. So we can do that. Bring that down. Work out. You need patience, man. Okay, I'm taking you through. Also, have gone a little advanced in drawing. We know that okay, this is a lot of work, quicker ways of doing this, but beginner's video, so I have to do things fresh on that, man. I'm using the scroll to just go down to where I want to bring it at. Okay, just bring that here. Oh, let's select that. Dropped in the wrong place. Oh. Okay, so if you zoom in, you start seeing some of the places that okay, this part is not good, that it needs improvement, so you can work on. So you can see now the building up. We're using lines, we're using brushes to make something very amazing and cool. I'm loving this. Oh, so beautiful. Okay, so back to discussion. Now, what else can we do here again? What else do you think, guys? I think this is cool. Yeah, you can go to some house and then you see like go to the village. You have if you can put a like put on a pedestal. I don't know. I don't know how we're actually gonna draw this, but let's see. Yeah, something like this is how it looks like. I don't know if this is the shape. So we're gonna zoom in and then yeah, this is what we're looking for. So you click on the paste to paint the part. out there. Okay, you can choose a different color, maybe a darker brown or lighter. This is brown, right? Brown. What's the difference? There's no difference. Okay. We have something like that. Okay. Like so, uh, it just adds a little bit of spice to the area, so you can keep more complex and do a lot of amazing things. So you can have a pot around. You can. So the video is getting long, so we're gonna stop here for this part. So I hope you've learned a lot of what you can do using basic softwares. Okay, using basic shapes. I didn't go to Photoshop, so people complain, the tool is this and this, and that's why I went down to basic paint to paint, guys, paint. Who uses paint in this generation? But you can see what you can still do with Microsoft Paint. Same thing with Macro. Look how beautiful that is. We started simple, started with rectangle boxes, join it together, use lines, use the brush, come up with this, and we have something beautiful like this. How lovely is this? So you can go to file, save, and then what you can do next is that if you want your work like in a picture format, you come to save as. You have PNG, you have JPEG, PM, GIF, okay, and all of this. Now PNG is that it works more like when you're designing something, let's say a logo. Okay, you can be designing something. Let's go back to our drawing. Like you have this design, and then let's say your whole background was white, so you want only this to show and the background to be transparent. That is when you use PNG. Okay, so it saves it's best to save it at a very high quality, used mainly for logo. It removes the background and just gives you the logo itself. So most of the time you save your logo as PNG. JPEG, it just saves things how it looks. Like GIF, it's like when you're having drawings, like different drawings together, and then it gives you an illusion of motion. Okay, so you can have one picture to another picture to another. That's what videos are. Okay, so you're watching my video now. What my video simply is just series of pictures. Okay, so like every, I don't know, micro millisecond, it's snapping, it's taking a picture of me. So when I move my hand here, it takes a picture, move, and it joins it together and gives you the illusion of a video series of pictures played quickly. So you think, wow, it's a video, but it's just series of pictures. Okay, so we're just going to choose JPEG. So it wants us to choose where we're going to save it. So in our desktop, yeah, my first design. Okay, okay, so my first design, we save that as my first design. So we go to our desktop, Control B. Okay, it's down there below. Okay, so just Control E, come to desktop, and where is it? It's here, beginners in design. So there you have it. You have our picture there. So you see it's in picture format, and this you can put in your transfer it to your phone or anywhere, or you can even post it on social media. Okay, this is my this is my first design using Microsoft Paint. Okay, so I hope you love this video, guys. So that's simply how you do things out there. Save this work. So that's how you simply do things out there. Okay, so you can have this design, you enlarge your canvas, you can select all of this, copy paste. Okay, so you can have multiple copies of, select that, rotate, flip vertical. So I'm just taking things a little. So you can have a drawing and then you replicate it. So you have multiple drawings together. So it gives you that illusion. So I hope you love some. Please feel free to subscribe, share the video, and like it so others get to watch it. You can share the video around there. Okay, so those that have always been yearning to learn graphic design, they can just start basic. It's just that little spark you need, and keep pushing. So come up with complex shapes. You can choose to just look any shape around. There was a time I designed my laptop itself. Okay, looking at the laptop, like, okay, this is how my laptop should be like. So you go with shapes, and then come up with something crazy. You have to blend with the eraser tool, and then so till meet again. Start designing, and then you can design things and then share it around on social media. You can find my Facebook link down there. So you can share your design with me. Let me see how it looks like. I'll be so happy to know you're working on something. Okay, so till we meet again. Bye.